I am Amp Sir Easy. Alpha Master Pimp Sir Easy, Poly Dominant, Sadist, trainer, and a provider and within the BDSM realm, mostly into spiritual evolution and human elevation or whatever. Basically speaking, I'm a grown ass person who basically deals with other people who can deal with some serious, deep, kinky stuff. Grown folks. And that's what I want to talk about right now because it's heavy on my head right now because I'm in this thing called this BDSM, DNS, lifestyle, and all this other stuff like that, whatever you want to call it, with a lot of people, including my property. And we're doing just fine. I mean, but I'm really having a severely hard time with a great deal amount of people who are forefathers, elders, and keepers of this old memory of how things used to be. Now, problem is first and foremost, I'm older in dog years than most of them, even though I'm younger in human years, enough for them to actually consider that my popularity is actually an insult to their sociology or their lifestyle or their upbringing or their mentality or their morality. And let me stop right here and make some sense for a second. There's nothing worse than actually realizing that you can't even have a mentor, you can't even have someone that you can look up to when the people who are above you are more ignorant than you. Now, there's nothing worse than really honestly finding out that people who actually, exist in the same lifestyle that you exist in have more of an issue with you being there just because you're there than they have an idea why you're there. Now, for a lot of y'all, I'm sure you're feeling this in different avenues of your life as well. It seems like you try to, for some of you, it might be your parents or teachers or preachers or professors or something like that, where while they mean well, they're not going to pull your pants off of your ass if that's the way you wear them. So get over that and get in some real shit. Now, the problem that I got here is that, well, let me put it to you like this. A friend of mine, I was talking with a friend of mine and older cat, and he was just saying how, well, he remembers back in the day when Berkeley and Flower Power and and hippies and beatniks and all of this stuff were cool, but they were too early in life. And now all of a sudden, as a baby boomer, he's sitting here and he's looking around and he likes what he sees as far as the environment, but he's actually also dealing with this deficit of realizing that while baby boomers are more healthy than our older generations before us in the past have ever been, they're still stuck being too old to actually come back and play into a realm that looks pretty darn like what they really wish they could have had 30, 40 years ago. This life is just perfect for 1950, 60, and 70 and the people that live there if they were that age, or our age and mentality. But here lies the problem. The problem is that you're not going to stop anybody from being young. You're not going to convince anybody that whatever it is that you have learned that you feel is actually solid in its belief enough for you to actually consider that we should be like you, older, or get like you or learn from you just because you're older is actually logical. I'm sorry. Welcome to the New World Order. No offense, but unfortunately, you're just occupants. Now, it's okay for you to actually live your youth again, but it's our youth. Now, the problem that we have here is that while everybody else is bitching and moaning and complaining about everything from racism to sexism to all this other stuff, you're filling all of these people's heads up with just enough to actually be the second generation of miseducated people, just because they don't know no better and they're too proud, and too arrogant to actually step back and be humble enough to hear the words that I'm saying. Now, I don't mean to upset anybody, but as long as I'm black, as long as I'm dominant, as long as I'm an alpha, as long as I'm in this doggone lifestyle, and as long as I've got a good head on my shoulders, rather you know it or not, or care to know it or not, care to respect it or not, some way, somehow, there may be something in this for you. And I don't care to know who you are. All I want to know is how in the hell can you think that whatever it is that you came from has prepared you for wherever you're going right now? I mean, I'm really honestly sick and tired of being sick and tired of old people being sick and tired of trying to tell everybody else how to live and something that they've never lived before. And in case you forgot, we got a black president. All bets are off. This ain't about racism. This is about realism. There ain't no left. There ain't no right. And while you still just trying to play with all of that and then bring your kinky ass back out here into this lifestyle and chase around a bunch of other people who are trying to find some real answers to some things that they feel like they would like to honestly find a better way of actually indulging in, so that they can actually deal with being an actual productive person in this new world order. Not just what it is that you were taught by your old people. And if it's good enough for you, then it should be good enough for us. It's not. This is lifestyles. This BDSM, swinging lifestyle, adult lifestyle, and just being vanilla. All this stuff is not like it used to be. We need to grow up, but we can't, because we got people in the way. And some of them might be you. Problem I got here is that there's nothing worse than old people who are too proud and too arrogant to actually think that young people have more to teach them than they think they need to learn. Now, I'd like to get into some other deeper, darker stuff, but I don't think that you've learned enough to really honestly roll in that direction, because you're still trying to find some protection for a real misdirected morality that for the life of me is killing me. Because Alpha Master Pimp Sir Easy got to come on to YouTube or anywhere else and actually say, you know what? Something is very, very wrong with this old song and dance. And if I had the chance to help you in any given way, the least that I could say is that respect ain't what it used to be, because it ain't going to come to people like me or younger than me until we get this older generation to get on board with understanding this is not your life. Just because you're healthy enough to see it don't mean that you need to be here. If you don't learn from these children, if you don't learn from what they're stuck with, because they can't fuck with your mentality, and you can't see how to tune that shit down and be a little bit more humble enough to be around enough to learn from us and help us, teach us how to be your next generation and not your last. I am Alpha Master Pimp Sir Easy, active dominant, polydominant, and the BDSM swinging